Hi, so this is just a quick video on how to write out chemical formula. So in chemical formula, the important thing, and I'm going to write this in big letters at the top so we don't forget, is the charge on our ions. And what we want is we want our final charge to be 0. We don't want our compounds to have a charge. So let's start nice and simple with one that we probably know quite well, sodium chloride. So we have sodium and we have chloride. And what we need to then look at is what charge do these form? Now sodium obviously loses an electron and forms a +1 charge, and chlorine also loses an electron, gains the electron from this and therefore forms a -1 charge. Now we're going to do what we call swap and drop. So we'll write out our elements again underneath, and we're going to swap these charges. So we're going to put this and we're going to drop it to the bottom. So we're going to drop that one down there, and we're going to drop this one down here. So we're left with Na1Cl1, which obviously we know we can just write as sodium chloride like that, NaCl. So let's have a look at another example where our charges aren't the same. So for example, you might have, let's do sodium bromide. Not sodium bromide, sorry. Let's do magnesium chloride instead. Okay, now magnesium will lose 2 electrons, so that forms a 2+ charge, and calcium again is still just going, chlorine is again just going to lose again that electron, so it forms a -1. And again, we're going to swap and drop, so we'll write them out again underneath, magnesium and chlorine. Circle these, we'll swap this one, it's going to go down with the magnesium, and the chlorine is going to have that too. So if we write that out again, we get Mg1Cl2, and we don't generally write the 1, so it just becomes MgCl2, and that would be the formula for magnesium chloride. Finally, we're going to look at what you would do if you have a compound. So for example, looking at something like sodium hydroxide, so NaOH. So again, sodium has got that +1 charge, and you will just have to learn the charges of these compound ions, but OH has a charge of -1. So looking again, we're going to swap and drop. We'll write them down again underneath, sodium and hydroxide, and we'll swap and drop these charges down to there and down to there. And again, we're just left with sodium hydroxide like that. If we were to look at another example, for example, calcium hydroxide, we would get, put a bit more space between them, calcium hydroxide. Calcium forms a 2+ charge, and the O- is again just 1. So let's write them again underneath, calcium and hydroxide, and we're going to swap and drop the 2 to there and the 1 to here. Now because we're looking at a whole hydroxide ion, this is where we need brackets, because it is not just 2 of the hydrogens we want 2 OHs, so we're going to write it as 2 like that, so that we make sure we have all of the hydroxyls doubled, and that would be a formula for calcium hydroxide, sodium chloride and magnesium chloride.